Ketidiah Show.
And Heiro!
This thread began on February 26th of this year when I had a dream. In this dream, I saw an unalived black man laying on a sidewalk as I walked up to someone's house. It's the same dream where I saw a vulture, turkey buzzard, or a similar bird land on the roof of the house as he was laying in front of it. Recently, I mentioned that the bird I saw may have symbolized Abaset, a goddess associated with protection and guiding souls. Me and this bird looked at one another, her on the roof and me at the door. It was in the same neighborhood where I went to someone else's house and locked mouths with a dog. Looking back, I believe that dog represented Anubis, the Egyptian guardian of the dead and guide of the souls. Back to the young man. When I walked past him the second time, only half of his body was upright from the sidewalk. He was trying to speak, but nothing would come out. Earlier this month, when I saw an image of Marquis standing in water, I instantly recognized his energy as the young man in my dream. I also noticed the headline. It mixed up Marquis and Nolan Wells. My dream captured both Marquis and Nolan. Again, this is back in February. On March 3rd, I had another dream. In this dream, there was a lot of water. It's also around the time I learned of Sokar. Sokar is a deity of transition, and he presides over the passage between endings and new beginnings. I also made a PSA. Check out what happens. Around all the same time, I'm doing this crossword puzzle, and I'm seeing 3 words that aren't part of the puzzle, but yet it falls into line with Sokar. So this is what I'm doing as the smoke alarm is going off. Now, mind you, I'm the only one here. See, and it just went off by itself. So the time was 6:22. Now we're going to go look. So the PSA smoke detector sounded at 6:22. In the Strong's Hebrew Concordance, 6:22 means to gather, collect, or take away. And what I don't think many people understand is that water holds memory. Water holds consciousness. The water sees. The water hears. If you watched any of my Speak Freezy challenges, you've seen faces, names, numbers, rainbows, mountains, and animals appear within the formations within the ice. This is how the living water responds to me. I had yet another dream last week on July 21st. It was of someone who was identified as either the Beast or Mr. Beast. In this dream, I visited his home. I mentioned how I saw a pool. Mr. Beast was in the dark and in a space under his house, but I could see him. Then I came across this TMZ photo, and once again, I recognized the pool from my dream. I also realized that the house beside it has an opening under the house, just like my dream. In another thread, on the 24th of this month, I had a dream of a woman on the staircase, and there was a huge fan next to her. It looked impossibly large. And a couple of days later, I will connect that dream to a fan tied to one of the darkest moments in our history. Then, as I was looking at my phone just 2 days later, the cat put his claw in my ear. I felt that I would need to hear something soon, and whatever it was, it will probably hurt a little bit. It did. The time that I recorded about the claw in my ear, I heard a firework outside and my TV cracked, and my TV still is not plugged in. The time was at 8:50 and 8:51. In the Strong's Greek Concordance, 8:51 means to take away, remove, or cut off, just like the 6:22 smoke detector.
They beat me till my bones broke. They split my head open with an axe. They gouged my eye out. They cut my tongue so I couldn't scream for you. They took my manhood, your only child mama. Then they tied a 70-pound cotton gin fan around my neck with barbed wire and threw me like garbage into the Tallahatchie River. I didn't even get to say goodbye.
It's an echo. Nolan's throat was removed. Emmett's tongue was. Both are used for speech. Some stories have a weight so heavy that they can't stay down. And speaking of echo, around the time of the cat claw moment, I honestly didn't know about the 70-pound cotton gin fan that was used to tie him down. So I believe this was what my dream was showing me. In another thread, I had a dream yesterday morning, July 27th. In this powerful dream, I saw at least 3 Caucasian men in a morgue. Only one spoke for the group, but I couldn't make out what he was saying. As I got closer to him, he held on to my arm, but I casually walked away, and the further I walked, the longer his arm got. Then the dream immediately cut scene. This time, me and all 3 men were outside. I remember they had on very colorful, even touristy type shirts. One of them was the aggressor, the one who held my arm. And he was aggressive towards me. And all I really remember is that I bit him twice, and specifically at the elbow. Y'all, I was trying to rip his elbow off from the bone. You hear me? And I remember thinking to myself as soon as I woke up, like, what the hell was that? But you know what? I immediately connected what I did to the goddess Kali Ma. She's often depicted as having a belt full of arms. I realized I wasn't simply witnessing Kali and Chamunda. I was witnessing both energies within myself. To me, that was Chamunda making herself known again. She is the goddess manifested as sacred rage through Kali Ma. I also feel that my daughter is Chamunda, not to mention that she used to want a sword when she was younger, like around 14 or 15. I believe her spirit knew who she used to be, and that was simply her tool of choice, and now it would all make sense. And yet another connecting thread, I heard static on my phone the other day. It wasn't even in my hand, and the time was 2:01. And 2:01 kept popping up, so I decided to look at my photos. And when I did, I saw 2 images dated February 1st, 2024. And I shared with my daughter from 2 years ago. They were the images that reminded me of the dream because I had just shared the dream with her. And they just so happened to pop up. And I've been sharing on Substack that I feel that our days are programmed. Exactly a year ago today, I opened my mouth to speak, but yet my daughter spoke. And so this is another way that I'm seeing me as Kali Ma and my daughter as Chamunda. It's like we're one of the same. So they say to remember who we are. And I am remembering Kali Ma and Chamunda. And my daughter is beginning to remember too. And perhaps Beauty and the Beast was never about 2 characters. Perhaps it's about remembering that both have always lived within us, our light and our shadow selves, individually and collectively. The question to ask ourselves, which one are we feeding? Static signs and sacred rage, and the beast within the beauty. Welcome back to the Ketidiah Show. I'll see you in my web. Ketidiah Show.